You're listening to another episode of Mr. Allard's Neighborhood. This is the place where you're entitled to Brad's opinion. And now for your host, Brad Allard.
Well, good morning. It's a lovely morning, isn't it, Victoria?
It is.
Yeah.
It's finally crisp outside. I put on this sweater.
Yeah, yes. Well,
And then later this week, it's supposed to be like 85 again. I mean, I'm not going to complain about 85. That's still gorgeous.
I like fall weather.
It's crisp and it's fun, and everyone looks cute in their boots.
No, boy.
Mr. Allard looks cute in his boots.
These old boots, these boots are like 20 years old.
Oh my gosh.
I'm
That's
very
how,
cheap.
When I worked for Chet, we had a couple of events a year that he'd had to pull out these boots, and they were like, I think those need to be resold. Those look like they've been loved.
Well, we're going to talk about what's going on in the city today. We got a couple of updates from the last meeting we had. Last time we had Adam with us and talk about the budget. Well, if there's any left over to talk about that, but
It's passed. It's official, and we are well into it now. It started October 1.
Oh, good. And then also, there's a couple things about property that we have under development or about to be. I was going to be curious about that, but I'll go ahead and run through the first batch of sponsors so we can dive right into it. All right. Thank you, CrossFit Burleson, 317 Southwest Wilshire. They seem to be doing pretty well. When I go by there, they seem to have a pretty full house. So there you go. So go by and check it out. Check out their webpage, CrossFitBurleson.com, for the memberships and the times and the classes. Also, Shandy Stockstill Group, she's doing pretty well because she just closed a house last week and she got another one, I think, about to. And, Victoria could tell you, regardless of what you read about the national news about housing and all this, it's still hot here.
It's hot.
Yeah. People still want to move here. I guess they're willing to pay the extra money.
Well, please come to Burleson because we are the place to be.
Well, it certainly seems like it, because everything's growing. And every time I drive down the street or something, a business street, there seems to be something else going up. And everybody's excited about, we got 2 gas stations going up near Centennial.
Yes.
Yeah, so.
Well, one's kind of been slugging along. I'm surprised they haven't gotten further. Now, I think QT may beat them. That was 7-Eleven. They started a while back.
That's a 7-Eleven going to be there?
It is the one that's right on Hearst, basically Hearst and
Well, do we have a 7-Eleven on the highway? Are they moving?
No.
Okay, just got 2.
Just going to have to.
That's fine. When I think of 7-Eleven, I think of that stuff as a kid getting a Slurpee. When we had the plastic cups, the baseball players or comic book heroes, we collect them and trade them and whatever. All right, anyway, thank you, Shandy, for that little trip down memory lane. Our place, I was there Friday afternoon, saw the man himself. It's always a great place. Good food, good people. It's a nice place. It really is.
Good. The food is consistently good.
Yeah.
I took my mom for lunch. She had never eaten lunch there, and last week was her birthday. And I said, let's go eat at our place. I just felt like something hearty. Oh, it was so good. I had chicken and dumplings. Yeah. My mom had meatloaf.
I like going Fridays for lunch because I like their taco soup. That's the soup of that day.
Oh, is it? I thought it was vegetable soup on Fridays.
No.
Whenever vegetable soup is, it's just knocks my socks off.
Right. When I was sick with COVID a couple of years ago, he brought me a big container of that.
Man, must be nice to be on that VIP list.
Yeah, well,
he gave me a VIP card, but at the very fine print, it said, this entitles you to nothing special.
Okay. Thank you, Otto, for all you do. Also, thank you to Chris over at Wild Cigar.
It's so pretty in there. I'm so proud of them.
They got the Ranger games on. And, that's been fun. Last night was fun to watch, beat the Astros and all that, and it's very nice. It really is a nice place to watch a game because it's blasted you out like a sports bar. You can actually talk.
It's just a classy place. I love they've done a good job over there with that Windmiller development. He's in a good spot.
Well, there's something else going on over there. Oh, some sort of sushi joint, I think.
Yes, I saw that.
Are you a sushi person?
I love sushi.
I don't understand it.
Really?
It's like eating raw fish. I mean, I put that on my hook when I was a kid when I went fishing. But,
I don't get too wild, like eel or anything that like octopus or anything weird.
Well, that's oh boy. Well, anyway,
tuna.
There's a place that won't be sponsoring this show after that.
No, but they have tea.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh, all the teas.
Okay. And also Tiffany Nico over at Local Life. She has the issue out already.
It's a good one this month.
Every month. But what's it? I don't remember exactly. I saw it, but my brain, I slept since then.
I feel you.
Yeah, but it's always, I always enjoy the articles. I mean, the ads are great, but it's always about hometown people and people you know, and it's a good thing. It goes to 30,000 homes, so everybody gets to see it. Also, this Burleson Buzz, you know, I do keep up with that. I am a subscriber. I urge y'all to, because it's very inexpensive. It's pretty cheap.
It is very affordable, and it gives you the local scoop.
And the sports scores, the Elks and the Spartans, I don't get that easily because, you know.
You have to go digging.
Yeah, and he does it for you.
Just,
so
click and there it is.
Okie dokie. Here's the thing. Okay, China King, the old China King on Wilshire's down, right? Thank God.
It's down.
Right beside it is a ditch.
I know, it's big.
And unsightly. Has the city contemplated doing something with it?
No, that's a really good question.
That's city property, I assume.
Right, yeah. That drainage ditch.
And it used to be, you probably remember this, when Warren Park had that drainage ditch, to the same ditch. You know, when I first moved here, Warren Park was a place you know, either got tetanus from the some of the rides there or the swings,
or you had your tail burned off from the metal slide,
right? Or you get chigger bites, or it was unsightly. It was just a pasture. It wasn't really a park. It just a couple of swing sets and teeter totters, and they called it a park. And then made it very nice.
It is nice.
Yeah. Can we do something about that ditch as well?
That's a really good question, and I would be willing to bet it's part of that development agreement in some way, if that's us partnering with them. So I'll follow up on that piece. I don't know about the ditch, but it is unsightly. You're right.
And it's right on the main drag of Burleson.
It is. And it just, like, the grass looks gross and no telling what creatures are living in there. So snakes, I would presume, like that kind of environment. So yeah, I'm really excited to see what they're going to do with that space. And Jose's back in the day, and China King's, but it sat there forever.
I understand there was some sort of difficulty in the demolition, maybe asbestos or something like that.
Who knows? The building was old.
Well,
I didn't hear that piece because it's down already. So I don't know that asbestos had to be a piece of it, because it wouldn't have come down that quickly.
Well, maybe they got whatever they need. I don't know why it stayed there that long. Because you think right on the main road like that, people would want it. And I'm sure Alex, who says nothing, will tell us he knows what's going there, but he won't say anything. Doggone him. But as far as
and all of the parking lot, like already where Stone Soup and Smoothie King, like they've started smoothing out their piece, and so it'll just be it'll all flow much better and be prettier. And with each, I had this question, I saw this question pop up on Residents Talking or something about safe walking, because a lot of the developments on 174 do not have a pedestrian way. And so people walk in the what are those called? Whenever you can pull over a little bit, on the highway, but like you can pull over into like off to the side, but it's not necessarily safe for you to be walking in.
No, it's not like a median or anything like that.
No. And so that's part of, as developments come in, because it would be so costly to try and do that ourselves. And I don't even know how beneficial that would be, because as new developments come in, we would want that would just get torn up, and we wouldn't want to invest money for it to be immediately or have to be worked around. So as developments come, we include, like a good example of this is Tommy's car wash, how they changed the entrance to off of 174. So now you kind of enter from the backside of that property, but it also included, sidewalks on their property lines and safe ability for pedestrians to push the button and cross across the road. And so as more and more come into 174, as we redevelop or things get cleaned up, we can minimize the amount of drives, because there are an ungodly number of entrances. You think about that, the opposite side where the AutoZone places, now Freddy's, and where Hobby Lobby is, there's like 4 or 5 entrance points, and it's hard to get through. It's hard to pass people. And so as new developments come in, we can clean those up, minimize how many drives, you only need one drive to get into some of these locations, and having 2 and 3 is just confusing and has cars zooming in and out and creating havoc. So that'll be really nice to see pedestrians being taken care of. And
Well, like I was kind of joking, Alex Phillips may know what goes on there. Well, we don't
yet.
yet, but we will. But as far as, let's say, other than a restaurant, which seems to be, people must really like to eat out.
Don't we?
Yeah, I must, because there must be business here. Because I asked him one time, "Are you afraid we'll have too many restaurants?" And his opinion was, "That's not my problem, but they must think they're going to make money.
That's it.
That's all that matters." And
It's going to be multi-users. So it won't just be a single user on that location.
you think so? It's going to be similar to what we talked about in the other property
Right.
we're going to talk about. You're going to have more than just
Yes.
a restaurant or
Yes.
whatever. You may have office space.
Yes, you
on
can
it.
have a dry cleaner or a nail salon.
No.
Insurance office.
You did that on purpose. All right, because dry cleaning and nail salons, when I first moved here,
They were abundant.
they were just like, we must have the
They're now
best nails, cleanest clothes, and the best pizza around.
Now we have the cleanest cars, the most oil change places, and the most coffee shops, right?
Right. It's just drove me crazy how many.
Yeah, but when you see the statistics on how many cars drive up and down 174, I mean, there are always cars at each car wash station I pass. So clearly they, if a private person thinks that
That's
they're
what
going to
I'm
be
saying.
able to maintain it and they put it in, that's just always my hope that it actually does work out for them, because those are not easy to transition into something else.
No. Do we need office space? I would think so.
Yes.
I mean,
And
because
boutique space and shopping space. I mean, those are at a high commodity. There just aren't a lot of them.
right. I mean, if they
Because not everyone has the cash flow or investment ability to build a building. So it's nice when investors can come
particularly
in,
these
do
days.
a build to suit and say, hey, I'm putting this up. Will you fit there?
Well, it'd be nice if they could incorporate what I hope to be a very redone, well manicured looking ditch.
Yeah, well manicured.
Yeah, right. And so you could incorporate that as part of like a patio space. If you have like a little,
Yeah.
well, we also drink a lot of coffee in this town
do.
apparently, but have
I
some-
do. This is,
yeah.
I don't know, cup 3.
Yeah. Boy, if you're the last person that needs caffeine. You're always so and
That
excited.
has to keep me going.
Okay, well, but I'd like to see something there that is not just another restaurant, which I like restaurants
Sure.
fine, but I'd like to see us have professional offices there, because
Yes.
it's got to be at a premium in this town, because we really don't have a lot of them, do we?
And the other thing is, when economic development works on these redevelopments or new developments, for the city to play a role in it, it has to be new to market. So we're not going to make big concessions for another McDonald's, for example.
There's Alex there. Good
look,
morning, everyone.
Alex is tuning in.
We've been talking about you and about your reluctance to give up the info. But if you want to put
He
on the
gives
screen,
up info when it's
yes.
like the other development where the gas station and the former Sonic. We know 3 of the 4 users, right, Alex? I know one of them's supposed to be like Hawaiian Bros.
Oh,
apparently.
yeah, right,
There's many.
right.
They have a following, and there's many people around town that are already excited about
he
that
mentioned
one.
that when he was on in August. I need to get him back on here. It's been it was July actually. I had him on.
Oh, well, a lot's been cooking
Yeah,
since then.
right. So I'll contact him and he'll squeeze me in his schedule. I hope.
He's a busy guy.
But he did mention that it was going to be Hawaiian Brothers, which is hamburger joint, which my daughter really likes.
I've heard people are like, I can't wait till that Hawaiian Bros comes in.
That's why my ears are burning. Yes, there's a 4th spot announcement coming
See?
soon. You could make it now, Alex, if you want. You just put it on the
I think
screen.
he probably has to bring it to council
No,
first,
of course
right?
he does.
Alex.
Yeah, but we're getting to the point now where we can offer just about every amenity that a big city can offer without all the big city crapola. And
Well, yeah.
where we're getting some big cities.
There's something, I know.
and we'll talk
Like
about
there's
that
something
too.
on the agenda tonight. And while I see, because it's a zoning change request, and, I just don't want us to be like other cities, right? So that's what's best about this economic development team that we have, is we really try to focus on what's different and fits Burleson, not just, people passing through, but people that live here. What do we want to see as residents? And they focus on that. And it helps to have people who grew up here or have lived here for many years and are invested. Alex grew up here. I grew up here. And I care. I don't want to just become the next miniature Arlington or the next something else. I want us to be Burleson. And that's what's cool about our old town and really being particular about what it looks like, what comes here, what we provide economic incentives to, because we don't want to be just another town. We want to look different and stand out different and provide things that are unique to Burleson and what Burleson residents truly want to see.
Speaking of unique, one thing we did lose was Moon Tower. And what's interesting is they're going to open up right across the street. Okay, Alex says, Wine Brothers Fat Burger, Cool Greens. That's right.
Cool Greens.
That's what I was thinking. It was a salad type place. But
yes.
Right. I mean, literally a catty corner from here is going to be where Moon Tower is going to be moving into here on Crowley.
And Cool Greens offers more than just salads. It sounds just green, but I think they have smoothies and all kinds of stuff. He said that they have a pretty big following as well.
That's
and
good.
Did you know Freddy's opened their 500th location in Burleson? Is that not cool?
I knew they had a bunch. I didn't know it was that many.
It was 500. So they did a big celebration. I didn't get to make it, but I saw our mayor did. And they're doing, that place has a line all the time.
Yes. Well, they're well known. It's like In-N-Out Burger. I thought we were getting one of those too.
Oh, I hope not. I'm not an In-N-Out fan.
I don't eat sauce. Okay, I don't know about these different hamburgers. To me, it's like, when I Grumps or Whataburger, that's pretty.
Oh gosh, Grumps. That's my children's favorite.
Yeah, that's where I usually go. But apparently, we like a diversity of hamburgers. And
the cool thing is they all offer something unique and different. If is it their magic sauce?
16,000 meals.
In one day.
Good heavens.
And they were cranking it out. Like, people were like, oh, yeah, the line was long, but I got in and out.
Yeah.
I didn't hear the same thing about Jason's Deli, so it's a good thing they're in Fort Worth, technically.
Yeah. Technically, but, that whole space area is, people think it's Burleson.
They do.
Yeah.
Come on down, one more exit. We'll gladly have your sales tax dollar.
Speaking of other properties, the old church that's been now on a little grassy acre or whatever it is. Has there been any development or news on that?
No, Alex's team is working really hard on that. We had kicked around things that just, everything happens for a reason. And I think the ideas that were previously, they would have been good, but maybe, it's amazing. A year rolls out and things look different in the real estate world, in the economic world, what businesses are still flowing. And so, it's good that the thing that we initially thought we wanted didn't pan out. So Alex's team is doing a great job of kicking around some. I personally would like to maybe see a single user, and the idea that we've been kicking around, gosh, if it worked out, and I have both fingers crossed, it would be phenomenal. I think it'd really fit Old Town and be fun, but we'll just have to see.
Well, you're talking about like having a single user. Is it similar to what we were talking about on Wilshire? Or you have multiple?
No, not multiple.
What type of one user?
I don't know. I don't want to put it out too far in the universe. It may not happen.
Okay.
But if it did, I'd be super excited.
You speak it and it shall be done. Don't you know your influence in this town? You need to say, oh, I feel like having this, and boom, it's going to be up there. Yeah, just because, it's you.
I just would like to see more of a mix of family-friendly, something to do, something to enjoy, not just like you're saying, not just a come and go restaurant or not just a, one thing. So,
well, like Alex says here, patience is the key to make sure we can get a great user or users to be a great space for our community. I do like,
and I think sometimes we try to go too fast, right? Like we're like, ooh, this is it. But see, it didn't work out, and didn't work out for a good reason. Because now we're able to get back to the drawing board, take a step back and say, this is actually property the city does own. So we don't have to hurry. It hasn't been on the tax rolls since like
forever.
I mean, forever and ever and ever. I mean, it was a church, it was a school. So we're not in any hurry. We can absolutely do it right. What fits Old Town? What's going to help? I'm really passionate about bringing the Old Town. Technically, that's all Old Town District, but people feel like it stops at the railroad tracks.
I remember former Mayor Shetter, still good friend Shetter. We were talking once on the show, and he said what drove him crazy was how much tax-free property was on the main commercial areas.
It's true.
And now, that the old Church of Christ has now moved to John Jones, and that's all developed over there. And then this will be new development. And I think what would be very valuable development to be like the school administration area, but I don't think they'll be able to move anytime soon.
I don't think that would be a priority for funding,
no.
and I don't think taxpayers would think that was a good.
No, it won't. But it's valuable property.
But it is, immensely valuable property. You're right about that.
So is First Baptist area and all that. But it just was kind of a funny side
some of that
joke,
complements each other, right? Because like you come out of Church of First Baptist, and now we've got restaurants growing down, and we have a med spa, we have boutiques, and so you come out and you maybe eat in Old Town and you go shopping in Old Town, and so it can complement each other. It's just a matter of how it all lays out.
Oh yeah, well, the restaurants that are near First Baptist now, that's my church. We go, come on, preacher, hurry up! We got to beat the Methodists, the babes. Come on, the Presbyterians are beating us. Go on, chop chop. Amen, brother. Let's go.
I can understand.
Yeah. But what it used to be for kickoff, but it's the same thing. There's Sarah Carlson.
Good morning.
Hope you're doing well. She's trying to keep those boys in line. Now that she's got a lady killer for a son, you see the.
Oh my gosh, he looked so precious in his jacket, going to homecoming event. I just love that.
Yeah,
it's fun seeing everybody's kids grow up.
But First Baptist Church helps out the whole district, especially with the parking agreement. Yes,
yes, we have a great partnership with First Baptist.
I like to think that we want to be
overflow parking, and it's used. The other night I parked over there for just give me space. I had to drive my husband's truck down Friday night, and I was like, okay, where can I park? Then maybe somebody won't yell at me for not being in the line.
Looks like Gage had a great time, according to Sarah. That's great, because I'm glad they're getting socialized, I suppose. They're getting older and all that. It's kind of fun to watch them grow up.
It is.
But, I'm glad First Baptist is being a good community partner.
They are.
That's a good.
I like talking with Christopher Cass and Mr. Ronnie about, they have big plans for potential youth center and things like that. They have got a great piece of property. And so they're good. They're good Old Town neighbors, and we're grateful for that. We have a lot of great church partners in this community, Pathway Church, and all the events that they host there.
Right.
People just go in there, and it's like a second home. You fit in, and so it takes all of us, right?
Yeah, I this past weekend they had that Rise seminar, and I haven't heard from Erica Vyers yet, who has been promoting with Reach Across Johnson County. I need to hear from her how it went, but
that's another good show coming up, right? Plug that one in.
Well, no, Rise was last Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. Okay. So I think they're taking a little time off.
I understand.
Yeah, they've been on the shows 2 or 3 times prior to it to promote it, but I think they're going to take a little rest now because putting those things together is a beating. It's hard.
Speaking of that, I went out to Brewfest a couple weekends ago, and I just really want to commend all of the community members in this town that create these events for not just Burlesonites, but people to come in from surrounding communities. You put on a conference where you recruit speakers. That's a lot of pressure. You want to make sure that, they're going to align with the message that you want to put out there. Thinking about the Brewfest ladies, the entertainment was phenomenal.
Well, the Mathis ladies said that this was substantially larger than the previous ones.
It was massive.
Yeah. And so I like to think it's because they came on the show, but that's just me.
a number of the booths had run out of samples, which is a good problem to have, right? You want a good turnout. It was packed. It was fun. The entertainment it was a great, great night. I had a blast, and I know so many others did too. So great job to all of these committed community members who get to the drawing pads and think up these great opportunities for our community to enjoy, but to bring in visitors too.
But here's a side note. I got to tell you, Founders Day came and went without me really noticing it that much.
Really? Because
Yes.
it was everywhere. I felt like
I did. Well, maybe because I just had my head in the sand or something, but I did not.
Maybe I need to start promoting also, like set up when I come visit, set up a portion of the show where I talk about upcoming events because that was well attended.
Well, I'm sure it was.
And it's ebbed and flowed over the years. I've been involved with Founders Day since I was in school. And then when I was in Rotary Club, we used to do the ticket booth because we used to have rides. It's like the evolution of how that event has gone. This year they had a car show. They had, of course, the sweet kickoff is a parade and everyone's in period attire, and they walk around, showing the bonnets and the suits and the top hats gifts. And,
Well, I just missed out then because I just didn't hear about it as much as I've heard about it in the past.
well, we need to get Dell Dexheimer on here.
Yeah.
He came to a couple of council meetings to plug it because they were looking for like I said, every year they try to make improvements. And so I think it was much better attended than last year.
Well, I guess my ignorance of it didn't affect anything. It says
They have vendors.
new edition of a chuck wagon, and it was cooking. It was okay.
Ooh.
It was awesome, according to Alex. I'm sure it was great. I've just seen other city events get more notoriety, publicity, whatever. Like last May, with the honey tour and all that, and things of that nature, and the carnival we had with that. That was promoted heavily. And then Founders Day is, I think maybe because so many people know it's already there, they just didn't push it.
Maybe
as
you
hard.
glazed over it.
Something like that.
I talked about it at council. Dale Dexheimer came out. We had Facebook posts, and I really think it was a good one. I've heard from several people that had vendor booths there that said it was well attended.
Well, then I missed out, didn't I? Yeah, well.
News you lose.
Yes, I would like to be more connected to some of the city events in terms of promotion. I really
I'll
would.
take that on.
I mean,
coming on and promoting that
okay,
because I try to mention them at council meetings. I know not everyone's going to tune into those every time, and when it's post 24 hours later, the nice thing is you can just click on the items that you really want to hear. What the discussion was, so you might skip out on some of the fluff talk if you're not that interested in it. But it's important that now that we don't have a local paper, it's kind of on all of us to say, hey, this is coming up. This is what you need to know. Come out, enjoy yourself, because we're such a family friendly. There's all of these fun activities to take your kids to do as a whole family and enjoy. And the thing I particularly love about Founders Day is it truly has something from like young to older. And there was music and dancing and just all kinds of fun stuff.
Well, see, I'm so tied in with some of the nonprofit promotions, and
they have a lot of stuff going on too. The Center for ASD's having a fall festival, and I'm going to put up a Connect with Council table there. And
well, I'm just saying that sometimes I get so dialed in on the nonprofit stuff, I maybe am not paying enough attention to the city stuff.
Well, come on, Mr. Allard.
I know I've been busy.
I'll start carrying that torch for you.
All right. Who would I contact though if I wanted to contact them on my own? Who would be like is there an office that deals with city type events?
There's several. Parks and Rec does a number of events. They put on the concerts, and Old Town has its organizers. Founders Day was primarily put on by the Heritage Foundation, so that's where you tap into like Dale Dexheimer and Neil Jones. Joni is another good resource if it's something that's going on in Old Town. She usually has a pulse on it, knows how the city's involved if we are. She helps with those reservations in the plaza. So she's a key person. Maybe we should, next time, maybe Alex joins. She can too. And she's a hoot in general. She has
she was on the show. I tell you another one I should talk to is Mary Slaney. She knows, I had her on the show before.
She's like the ultimate Burleson cheerleader. She goes to as much as she possibly can.
Well, and Sarah Carlson brings up the Burleson Opportunity Fund breakfast. And
that was very well attended. It was Thursday morning, and just, it's such a feel-good event. We see, something that's been going on for 15 or so years and maybe more than that. And they had student speakers or past students. We have a current police officer, Colby Smith, that was a BOF recipient. We have now an assistant principal at Centennial, Holly Holcomb. She was a BOF recipient. And so it's cool to hear these stories. We had a gentleman speak. He said he currently works for CareFlight and he's looking into he's still in school to become some kind of special pulmonology. I don't know, it was a very high-tech word, but I mean, that's awesome. Those kids are Burleson, and then they come back and take care of our students, we take care of our health, and we have nurses and teachers and just doing all kinds of things. And it's cool that and a major contributor to that fund are teachers and staff from BISD. So not only are you all committed to the kids while you have them K through 12, but then they have payroll deductions. And
we did it.
It's phenomenal that you're just continuously investing in our kids, which is a major economic development benefit. When when a business is looking at us, they want to know that they're going to be able to have people to work the jobs that they're going to be providing. Do you have an educated workforce? Do you have a workforce that knows welding or this or that? And
Well,
Hughley is a great benefactor,
Sure.
and Texas Health Burleson. When we're raising up these students and future nurses and lab technicians, and the list goes on and on and on.
I'm about to see about 22 of them. I have a class at noon today, and noon and Wednesdays, Mondays and Wednesdays. And I would say of the 22, I would bet 10 to 12 are BOF recipients.
That's very cool.
And then at my night class is much smaller, and there are more adults in it. But
Sure.
I think there's a couple there too. But I asked a couple of weeks ago, who was in the BOF situation, and about half the class raised their hand.
I mean, from kindergarten, these kids are hopefully hearing from every encounter that they have while they're in school of like, your future doesn't end here. The possibilities are endless. And we care so much about you that here's a scholarship opportunity for you. Should you not know what route's best for you, if nothing else, there is this. And we as a community are not just saying it, we're backing it up with our dollars. So, I mean, that's significant. It's businesses that have been longtime supporters of it that want these employees to help their businesses grow in the future. So we're all investing in ourselves and in each other and the growth of this community, and it's important.
Well, I know the students that are not in the BOF, they're from Joshua ISD or Alvarado, they're very jealous,
Sure.
because they, man, how did I get it? I'd like to get a part of that. Well, you should have graduated from Burleson schools.
And it's not for everyone, but this really captures that audience of, and we heard from a couple of students that spoke that morning. If it hadn't been for the BOF, I don't know that I would have been able to further my education.
Right.
Now, there's some kids that 4-year universities, that's their thing. There's some kids that are going to go straight into technical school, but at least if you don't, like you're on the fence, or you don't know how you're going to be able to fund it, or maybe your first generation college wasn't in your family's lineup. This community has your back, and we're helping you to find what your path is going to be.
Well, I'm going to segue here to the second round of commercials, because I know this first one will interest you.
Okay.
This Southern Gym, they're having well, you like the jewelry.
I do.
But Taylor put the prize up. This is going to be raffled
Oh
off.
my gosh.
Yeah, Gala's having like a grand opening event on the 26th, a week from Thursday, and for $1 a ticket, you can register for that. And
All right.
and it's
Philip, if you're tuning in, let's buy some
that's right.
tickets.
You go there, buy as many as you want, and go. It's all day. It's go by. They'll have probably a little champagne.
Okay,
They'll have
26th. I'm stopping by.
you're
Put it
stopping
on my
by.
calendar.
And I think it's going to be in the evening, so like in the afternoon to a little past closing.
Okay.
And I mean, it's not going to go all night, but it's if you go, but you can go by any time during the day to buy the tickets. But they're going to have some events. Robin's helping plan some things. They're going to have some food and drinks and whatnot. But the proceeds from this raffle go to the Hughley Cancer Center.
Oh, love that.
And it's one of Gala's personal charities. And so Gala's going to put that ring up for auction, or for raffle rather, and whatever they get from it, they're going straight to the Cancer Center. And so that's a really good thing to do. So thank you, Gala, for your community support. And of course, they have the great jewelry coming in. She's going to be on the show in about 2 weeks, and she's going to talk about all the Christmas stuff they got going on.
About to start cooking.
Well, it is already. Robin's already going to be working just about every open hour.
Yeah. Philip played golf with Bobby Woolard not too long ago, and he was like talking about the hubbub of this season, and that he doesn't miss it. He enjoys retirement, but
they're pretty busy already. A lot of people are coming in for like repairs or designs because they want to make sure they have it Christmas morning. And so if
don't wait.
Yeah, if you're hearing this out there in the vast listening audience, don't wait until late November, early December, because they're going to be booked solid. And so, all right. Also, thank you to Old Pro Roofing. This guy, John, he's a really sharp young man. I've gotten to know him through BNI. There's several BNI people on this roster of sponsors, but what I was most impressed with is that when he came to check out my roof, there was no upsell. There's no, oh my God, your house about to fall down routine. It's, no, your house is fine. And it's comforting to know.
Absolutely.
So he's going to give you the straight story. 817-734-2756.
Because even with insurance, you're coming out of pocket. So you want to know, like, can mine last a little bit longer, or is this the end all be all?
Well, yes. And, he'll tell you all what, you need to know about roofs and
Gutters.
and gutters, yes, and all the whole thing. So it's a very old established company here. It's in Old Town, so
yeah, they have a lot of great people. Good for them for keeping up that reputation.
And we have here Thrive Business Center with Dee Dee Simpson at 520-955-7860. She helps you with the entire business organization, your promotions, your communications, your business end of it, your access to social media.
It's important to have somebody that understands
it
that.
It is, and she deals a lot with Google, and she'll tell you Google is the Antichrist. And she tells us that every BNI meeting, because Google is kind of difficult, and you need somebody that can haggle with them.
Sure.
But they also, a lot of us in BNI use it. It's a whole suite of business related things. It's not just SEO or email, even though it's part of it. It's also a lot of it is just the entire support for your business and website. So it's a good organization. Also, our friends over at Stop Restoration, Lisa and Morris Smith. Again, she's a BNI friend, and she's a wonderful person. And what I like about her is that she really brings a lot of energy to our group, but she also she really knows what they're talking about. She and her husband Morris are really good at this job. And we think of environmental damages, some catastrophe or something like that, but mold is pretty common in Texas, and you may not even know you have it. And there's specialized mold service people. You don't just you go to Lowe's and splash some stuff on it, and it might solve it for a few days. But, if you want mold removal, they know how to do it. Plus, they got all these other issues you might not even know about, like hot water heater leakage or leakage behind your shower wall and that kind of stuff, and they could check for all of that. Also, our friends Candy Gow, she's going to, right today, they're 2 mortgage, but they are starting their own company very, very soon. But their number won't change, and her services won't change. 817-925-2661. They're going to be on the show next week. What is today? It'll be a week from tomorrow. And they're going to talk about she and Sammy Jo Campbell are going to talk about the new venture. And she's very, very sweet. She's the outgoing president of BNI. I don't know what her new office. Oh, she's a visit host like I am.
Oh, so Sammy. I love Miss Sammy.
Well, she and Candy have handled 2 of my refinancing. That's how I help pay for some schooling for the kids, and also for some home repairs and things like that. And so it's a really good group to deal with. I don't know if there's any nonprofit stuff going on today, but they'll let me know, because the Center for ASD is also a member of BNI, so they'll probably tell me what they want on Wednesday. Anyway, here's a different thing. Last time we talked about homeless situation, whatever else, and you and Adam at the end talking about we need to have some sort of a handling, a grip as a city around this thing, and we need to have information. You told me before the show you've already talked to a couple of the people that deal with this, right?
I have. And I talked to our city manager and just asked, where does something like this start? What is a good starting point? Because we don't want to just take unnecessary steps, duplicative steps. Like, we want to be smart about any endeavors that we pursue, especially when it comes to city resources. And so our city manager came from Dallas, and he was there for 10 years, and they have a lot of different resources than we do. They're a much bigger city, and they have an entire homeless department and housing, and there's funding available. It's a lot bigger deal. So I knew he would kind of be able to point us in the right direction. And he suggested, which totally made sense, of having a census. And he said both Tarrant and Dallas counties have these census annually to get a handle on what does their homeless population, what is it truly? What is it? And there's so many different variations. Are you truly on the street, or are you on somebody's couch? Or are you on, are you bouncing from, are you in your car? Are you looking for shelters? What is your situation? And we ultimately need to understand the statistics. Where are they coming from? Are they really here? Is it Joshua? Is it Cleburne? Are you truly identifying Burleson as your home? And so that's a good starting point, because we need the hard information before we can just throw daggers at it and say, this is the way to do it. Or, especially throwing money, which we never want to be irresponsible with.
Now, I talked to the nonprofits quite a bit about this, and with Jennifer over at Harvest House and Lisa Schwartz, she'll be on Halloween Day, so she'll be able to tell us more about it. Also, Promises, they don't that's not their clientele
Right.
service, but they deal with people that
Food.
are homeless. Yeah, food, right?
Right. They have an enormous
Now,
food pantry.
when we say resources, I don't want anybody out there to think that we're going to do what Dallas does.
Right. No,
Because
we
We
can't.
can't. We don't have that kind of money. And
because of their population size, they're eligible for grants and things. And who knows what we might be eligible for once we can actually have data to back it up.
plus, they're so physically large, geographically large.
Yes.
They have the space to put in
Yes.
shelters. We don't.
We don't.
Anywhere
I
that
don't-
we put in some sort of facility was going to impose some burden on
Right.
some of our citizens, regardless of where it's put.
Right.
So that's not what I'm looking at, and that's not what the city's looking at. So I don't want anybody getting all nuts about
But
it.
we can be more organized
Right.
about the resources that we do have, the churches, the nonprofits that exist, and what is truly what is the city's role, what's appropriate. But we can't do any of that without data and understanding the true effects of, what is ours and what's our responsibility. And so we're going to start with that. We need data. We need information.
Well, a lot of people are concerned if you provide any kind of assistance or services, whatever, it's going to attract more of it, right?
I mean, and I think all these nonprofits can speak to that,
Yes,
right?
they do. But on the other hand, they're already here, is what I would think is like, even with the burdens we place on our nonprofits, the problem is still getting larger. Jennifer and Debbie and Lisa all talk about it, and it's like they go to bed at night worrying if they're going to have enough to help with the people they're seeing. Because despite all the propaganda, our economy's still struggling for a lot of people. I mean, inflation's still hard.
I think that's the root of it. And when it comes to what's the government's role of every dollar that we spend on a public improvement, we need to really make sure, we have to weigh while things are continuously getting expensive, while while there's always more need, we have to also say there's a lot of people doing without. And so in what regards can we scale back as well?
Well, I had an acquaintance tell me a couple of years ago that he was concerned that we were too generous because we were attracting people. I'm like, okay, that's not the right attitude to have, because we have to be generous as a community because they're in our community already. And if we had no nonprofits and we had no city response, we'd still have homeless. We'd still have people that are living under the poverty line to some degree.
Well, and we've all been charged with taking care of our neighbor.
And I would think, the Lord would look at it with a pretty dim eye if we as a community turned our back on these people. Yeah. But as far as... But again, you got to do it prudently because I joke about, hey, since we got that space on Renfro where the old church was, let's put a homeless center there. Now that's not going to work. You can't put it near commercial businesses, and you can't put it in a residential neighborhood, and we don't have the geographic space.
No.
And so,
and as I mentioned in that last show with Adam, these aren't, while we are the fiduciary. Well, we give the yes or no about how we spend the money. It's not our money. And we're a contributor as a taxpayer, but it's not my money solely to determine, that we should completely invest it in X, Y, or Z. We have to make sure it benefits the whole community anytime we spend taxpayer dollars.
And I would just think another person you might want to talk to about this is Billy Cordell, because I'm sure the police encounter this all the time as well.
And we have a victims assistance coordinator, and she's a wealth of knowledge. She knows about the resources, and so absolutely, what are they encountering? And so they'll just be another piece to this data collection puzzle of what is our problem. Let's whittle it down to fully grasp, and then go from there of having a task force, bringing everyone that has a stake in this together. Let's have a conversation so we're not exhausting any one particular avenue of resources. And I think that the city has a role in maybe coordinating these efforts or coordinating the conversation in the task force, but where we commit dollars to.
Well, it'd be pretty tough for the city to give money to these institutions because they are private and they are in many cases faith-based, and it's incumbent upon us to support them, not so much let the city do all the heavy lifting.
Right.
But as far as, I think people get the wrong idea. I don't ever see Burleson being in a situation like Dallas where we have direct assistance to them financially or otherwise, because we just don't have the wherewithal for that. And
we also don't have, I've said this before, we don't have public transportation. We don't have buses and the train coming through, TRE. So our situation is different. But as you said, these are people that have been here, but what truly is that number, and what is their true circumstance? And that's how we get a grasp on, what's needed. How do we best tackle it as a combined unit of a community and all the different partners that have a role in it?
Tonight's an agenda. What's on the agenda for the council meeting?
It's a busy agenda.
Good.
We have a lot of stuff, everything from
Well, you were pretty excited about
zoning.
one in particular, so weren't you? Or am I mean, you mentioned one prior to the show.
Did I?
Was it the zoning issue?
We're going to talk about a zoning change.
Really?
We're going to talk about.
Can you tell us about that, or is that another one of these secrets, Dad?
No, it's not. No, I mean, it's public information. The entire agenda is posted, and so we get these periodically. There's some land that has been sold on the backside of Holy Cross Christian Academy, and so they sold some land, and now they want to see or they're in the process of selling, and they want to see the purchasers, the buyers want to know if they can, because land that is just zoned to agricultural, that's the most basic zoning. And so what do you do from there? How do you want it to develop? And so do you want to go commercial? Do you want to go industrial? It kind of depends on where you lie in the city. So,
well, I drive down 714 quite a bit because sometimes, trying to avoid that big knot of traffic, and get HEB or something like that, and that knot of traffic around Wilshire and John Jones and all that. So I take that country route. Well, apparently that's very commonly used now.
it is.
And I could see very easily that that's another area down 714, down or Dobson, if you will, more development.
I saw a sign on the property right behind the fire station and the memorial park right there. Sign on the fence that says that's where the Heights Church is going to relocate.
Really?
So, you're right. 714 could really.
Oh boy, we're going to
But this would be a property that sits on the access road. So they're going to come forward with a zoning change request. And
do you know what they want to put there, or they're just going to let you know later?
I saw that the request is coming from Kia.
The car dealership?
Yes.
Okay. Well, how about that? Okay. Well, we got a bunch of them already, and apparently, my brother-in-law used to work at the Mazda now here in town. Now he works at a Mazda in Irving, and people come all over to buy cars here.
Yeah, but they're big land. It takes a big piece of land, and they're not my favorite uses.
Well, but somebody's got to sell cars.
I know.
Think of the jobs.
And the other side is, well, it's not high traffic. So let's say you are on the backside of a school. They typically are very well lit. There's pros and cons. They're just not always my favorite use of property.
Well, I
also don't want to become the next Arlington. I don't want to go down, you go down 20 and there's 30 car dealerships.
Well, yes, but think of all the people in this area of the county they're employing.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's so you have to.
You have mechanics, you have salespeople.
Yeah.
I know, that's why I said there's good and bad.
No.
I'm trying to weigh both.
And they pay taxes.
Well, they pay property taxes. We don't get sales tax on cars.
Oh, really? I did not know that.
Yeah. See, now are you starting to see where I'm coming from?
Yeah, okay.
But we do get sales tax when somebody buys a new set of tires or they get an oil change or that kind of thing. There's pros and cons. You have to look at it both. I would just
there must be reason,
to see other types of development.
Yeah.
Because they take up such big swaths of land. And then it's okay, well, what goes next to that? You know?
I know. But it's
I really wish this was council's way before me that where the Volkswagen sits, I would have liked to seen a grocery store or something. Many years ago when Kroger was looking at coming here, that's where they were actually looking.
You're talking about it on that where the Toyota family is? They want a Kroger there?
Where Volkswagen is, the family Volkswagen right across.
That's up on that hill? I always thought that'd be a great place at the city. I know they'd never keep it, but if they owned it, they could turn that into a nature reserve or something like that. But not like I knew that was
I
going to
don't
happen.
want a nature preserve right on 35. That's prime.
That's what I'm saying. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's no way that they're going to take that kind of property with that kind of access and say, oh, we're going to take it off the market. No, I knew that wasn't going to happen. But
I love car. I mean, like, there's a reason for everything. Everything has a place and a role, and everything needs a place to go. When there's not a grocery store on the east side of town.
That's one other thing. I talked to Alex when I'm going to get him, drag him here on the show. I'm going to ask, I live on the east side of town, and they're really, I mean, we don't have a lot of property there. We've got enough, but we don't have I have to go all the way to the other side of town most of the time
to run any errands.
Most errands, yes.
Yes.
Grocery store or whatever.
See? So now does that Kroger seem more appealing back in the day?
I guess. Or
Who
the
knows?
HEB.
No.
I mean,
years ago, at the time it didn't seem that appealing to that sitting council. And who knows what I would have thought then, hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah.
And I'm like, I would really like a grocery store on the east side so I don't have to cross over.
As far as like places to get food, I mean, there's a couple places on the east side. I tell you, some of them you have to live here to know them, like that Renfro One Stop, used to be Bennett's. Really good hamburgers, all right?
Oh, no, that's different though. That's a cooked hamburger.
Yeah,
that's not where I can go buy my, carrots and celery.
Oh, my. And then also Via Diana. Everybody knows about that out there.
Yeah,
but
that's a restaurant. It's not a place to go buy my groceries.
But I'd like a Taco Bell on this side of town.
Oh, no.
Well, because, if I want a
That's
taco.
not new to market, Mr. Allard. I'm sorry, but I'm not going to allow us to recruit a Taco Bell. I mean, I enjoy Taco Bell, but that's not where I want to spend my resources. They'll come if they know they can make money.
Well, we don't have on the east side
the east
highway.
side's just different.
Everything is on
Everything's
the other side.
on the other side.
And
while we're very protective of our east side, we like that it's a little rural. We like that we don't, but then you get lazy and you're like, oh.
But then you have all those houses coming in on that development on Renfro. They're already popping up. I mean, they're looking like.
I think the development I live in has it's been a long time. It'll be a while before I believe they bring their plots back, but something like an additional 250, 300 homes.
Good heavens.
So where are those people, we're all flooding down Hidden Creek to go into town to grocery shop.
Well, we'll get Alex on the job. And if Alex can't handle it, we'll get Mary Slaney on the job. She'll get it done. But
I agree. Like you said, we want places to work that pay well, and that is a benefit. I know that mechanics make good money.
Yeah, they do.
Because they're so far and few between now. It's like somebody that genuinely knows how to work the computers and the old school engines that don't have all the computers. You got to have both.
Yeah. Well, Taylor, how about a Tesla dealership here? You think that'd work?
Texas doesn't allow Tesla dealerships.
They don't.
Is that right?
Because they sell direct to consumer. And so all these dealerships
Alex is already on it, making progress. See, there you go.
See, Alex has got us.
You got it going on. All right.
For them to have an office of 3 people, they are always on the pavement. Their feet, it's almost like a hamster wheel. They just go, 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 go.
Well, we're lucky to have all 3 of them. They're a blessing to this community.
I know.
Well, we're about done. So tell us what.
Time flies.
Yeah, it does, because you're so enthusiastic.
Let's talk about things that are coming up. I'm going to take advantage of this.
Okay.
Let's see here. Pull up my last council weekly report to see some upcoming events. So we have Date Night Experience Western Theme out at Russell Farm Art Center. That's coming up on the 20th. It is a ticketed event, but I heard such fabulous things about this last year. And so come out, there will be a fire and dancing. It's a super fun night. The Great Pumpkin Plunge will be at the Brick on the 21st from 9 a.m. to noon. It's $10 per person with a pumpkin or $5 per person with no pumpkin.
Wait a minute.
I don't know. We're throwing pumpkins in the pool or something.
Okay. It's $10 if you bring a pumpkin?
I think that's probably...
that sounds backwards to me.
It does.
Yeah, because
I think with the pumpkin, they provide you with a pumpkin. We give you a pumpkin.
Okay,
$10 and a pumpkin.
Okay,
there.
I understand that, but it's like wait a minute.
If you just want to be an observer and you don't want to throw a pumpkin in,
right.
Boo Bash is coming up.
Right.
And there are churches and vendors and businesses. This is a great opportunity to plug whatever you have going on in town. It's the 21st, 5:30 to 8:30. Bring lots of candy. It is massive, and it's at Chisenhall Fields. Well, this next thing I definitely want to plug.
What's that?
It's called the Drug Take Back Program. And PD sets up in the Walmart parking lot. You just drop off expired medicines, everything. Clean out that medicine cabinet. You have expired Advil, Tylenol, nasal sprays, cough syrups, all that stuff that we do not want to end up in our water system.
Right.
And we don't want it poisoning the ground. So Drug Take Back, October 28th, 10 to 2, just drive through Walmart, toss them.
What day is this again?
It's a Saturday, I believe, the 28th.
28th, okay.
Yeah, 10 to 2, Walmart parking lot. You just toss out all those old things or things that you don't need any longer. I got a prescription when I had strep throat for this numbing stuff. They gave me 4 bottles of it. Who needs that much?
Yes.
No. I barely
much.
even used like a quarter of one bottle. So all of that's going to the Drug Take Back.
Well, I know the pharmacy I use just automatically refills my pills. I got one set of pills like, how sick do you think I am?
See? And they're stacking up and then they're going to expire. Take those to the Drug Take Back so they're not poisoning our water. The Far Out Family Campout's coming up.
Alex is also talking about something.
Ooh, Project U Leadership Conference tickets go on sale Thursday. You want to talk about a phenomenal event. The speakers last year were so good. We had a comedian pep talker. He was hilarious and good. I think Jess is coming back this year. Last year, she had to cancel because she was having a baby. But Jess Ekstrom, she's phenomenal. She has a book on, being a business leader. She created a headband company out of her college dorm room, and they give back to children that are fighting cancer. And it's she's really, really good speaker. But anyway, Project U, I strongly advise you'd grab tickets to that. It is so uplifting. It makes you want to go conquer the world. Best speakers, way to go to Alex and his team. Great event. So look for those tickets, grab them early because I believe it sold out last year.
I wouldn't doubt it.
And we had a great lunch. It was just such a phenomenal event. But the Far Out Campouts, the 28th and 29th, for those families that like to do a camping night, it's going to be at Russell Art Farm. $25 for a family, easy, fun night. They have s'mores and all kinds of cute camping activities. And then dress up your dogs for Dogs and Donuts. It's a Halloween edition, the 28th from 6 to 7:30 at the Burleson Bark Park. And I know you said that ASD will make a plug for this, but I will since I'm going to have a table there for Connect with Council. But Fall Family Fest at the Center for ASD. It's from 5 to 8 on the 27th. It's a Friday evening. And I just love that because there's children and individuals with sensory issues that get overwhelmed. Come get candy, come get resource information, enjoy a family-friendly night that is in a calm environment that they feel safe and comfortable.
Yeah, Bianca with our B&R group has been talking about that. So
come see me.
Yeah.
I'll be handing out Connect with Council stuff and candy. And email me.
Lots going on in this little town, isn't it?
I'm telling you. I'll start making it a point to be more not off the cuff.
All right. Well, that's
and
fine.
Targeted with things that are coming up because we want people to enjoy it.
I'll do better at keeping track of what's going on because, it gets a bit overwhelming. We can't let Sarah Carlson do it all.
We're busy. We've got a lot going on. The Parks and Recs crew did a great job this over the last month celebrating Hispanic Heritage Month. We had Zumba nights. One of the nights had 81 participants that kicked it up in the plaza. The band Friday night, they were so good. Just lots of cool things going on. Enjoy it because we have a phenomenal team that puts forth a lot of work and effort for us to come together and enjoy.
You think other communities are this active?
Well, no. Burleson's the best.
Well, I know we're the best, but I just wondered if Joshua or Cleburne are this active. I mean, it seems like you could spend a lot of time, on these.
You can be busy around the clock, especially from fall through December. Get your tickets to Santa's breakfast.
And Project U.
Project U.
All right. Thank you for reminding me of that, Alex.
Yes, Alex does a great job. Thank you for that.
Well, I'm overwhelmed. Anyway, so tomorrow we're going to talk to somebody from BISD, and I think I know who it is, but last month we were going to have somebody going to talk about security issues, and then the unfortunate thing happened to keep them from coming. So we're going to talk more. It's when I say unfortunate, it was unfortunate for me.
Okay,
All right.
gotcha.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's
You
what
had to
I meant.
scramble. I got you.
Yeah. It was. I don't want to imply that it was a crisis. So it just was unfortunate for me.
The way you segued from
Yeah.
security into something happened, I was like, what?
No, nothing like that.
Okay,
no,
good.
No, it was just I
No,
had to
you
scramble.
had to scramble
Yeah.
and talk about China or something.
Oh, we talk about China or something. Okay, I think those are pretty good shows. In
They are. They are.
Thursday, I'm talking about Israel again because that's pretty concerning. And
Just pray for Israel.
Yes.
Like pray for everyone involved.
that's going to be a mess. And I talked about it last Thursday, and there you are. But tomorrow, I have a pretty good idea who's coming, but I'd rather just announce it on the Facebook in the morning.
BISD.
It's BISD.
Coming at you.
Yes.
An
Michaela
important
will take care of
topic.
it. Yes, it always is.
If you don't have kids in the system, you're paying for it in taxes. So listen up.
Well, not just that. I think I hear people say, well, I don't have kids in school. Why should I pay? I'm like, you nickelhead.
Well, they're turning out our future employees, employers.
Do you think this town would be growing without a decent school system? No, it would not at all.
And I'm a product of that school system, so I'm pretty darn proud of it. My kids are there.
Yeah. And so my career is there. So,
Yep.
But anyway, I digress. Anyway, thank you, Taylor. We'll see y'all tomorrow
Always.
about noontime. And we'll be talking that. And then, like I said, I'll be hopefully, maybe by Thursday, we'll have some news about Israel that's positive. I don't know if that's going to be happening anytime soon, but I don't know. Anyway, so we'll talk to y'all later. And
See you
thanks
next
for
month.
Bye-bye.
Bye.